Did you ever play a game that before you started you won? That would be unfair. But there is one game that I tell you, before you start you won. And that's the very important game that's called life. The Gemara says in Masechta Yuma, when a person comes to that moment that he lives his life for, when he gives a din v'cheshbon, people will have excuses. Rabbi Shalom, I couldn't learn Torah, I was too poor. The Rabbi Shalom says, were you poorer than Hillel? Hillel lived in abject poverty, unfathomable poverty, and look how he succeeded. Hillel's mechayev the poor people. A person says, I was too rich, I was too busy. But Rabbi Elazar ben Charsam, a great Tana, was much wealthier than you were, and look how he learned Torah. Rabbi Elazar ben Charsam is mechayev the Ashirim. But the question is obvious. I'm not a Hillel. I'm not Rabbi Elazar ben Charsam. How could I be held accountable to do what I can't do? I don't have the greatness of a Hillel or Rabbi Elazar ben Charsam. But the answer to that is one of the most important, if not the most important, yesod of Hashkafa. Nobody is ever given a challenge that they can't succeed. It would be terribly unfair if the person put a person in a situation that is doomed to failure. I once collected a number of sources that state this concept clearly. And that's what the Goyen says, in his eyes, is the greatest neflois habori, is the greatest wonder of the creation. How the Rebbeinu Shalom makes every single person's nisayon. Every single person is different. He has his mailas and chasrainis. But every person is given a nisayon that he's always a little bigger than the nisayon. That's what the Gemara is teaching us. We don't have the nisyonis of Hillel, and we don't have the expectations of Hillel. We have nisyonis that are custom made for us. We look at an nisayon and we have to say, this is intimidating, this is frightening, this is scary, because you're so big. But you say with Amun and Hashem and Amun in yourself, I am bigger than the nisayon. I was given a guarantee that I could succeed if I really try. There's a little sticker that comes in every appliance, inspected. That means it was tested and it works. Every day we say, Sha'asa li kol tzarki, the Rebbeinu Shalom gave me enough wherewithal, enough koiches to win this nisayon. And that's what the Gemara is teaching us. They are mechayev us, or they are mechayev us, you could do it. I once heard a story of this avid football fan. He wasn't just a fan, he lived the game. And his team made it to the Super Bowl. And of course he bought a ticket, he had to watch it, and he started getting palpitations, the anxiety. He was too nervous about his team losing. And he had a massive heart attack and he had to be taken to the hospital. And he watched the game weeks later. He says, it's a good thing I had a heart attack. If I would have to watch that my team, they were losing terribly. It was the greatest comeback in history. Somehow they won. In the end of the game, it was mamish an unprecedented victory. If I would have watched the game, I wouldn't have survived. But when I watched it, I enjoyed every moment because I knew my team won. That's the game of life. Before we start, we know we could win. We have to just believe in ourselves and believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu and sit back and enjoy the victory.